We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Infinite Gary. Gary now is apparently done with OLED TVs for the time being. Has purchased a Sony 49X800D for his kitchen while he still searches for a new TV for his bedroom setup. Does he do all the shopping online, I wonder, or does he go into a store?
He's going out to stores. He's having fun.
That's great, man. Those guys must be like, dude, he's back.
He's back.
He's back. You owe me like $5. I told you he was coming back. He's comparing the X800D to an older Sony 46EX500 that used a traditional CCFL backlight and had a matte screen. But then he found a review of the X800D that says it has a really poor black level performance, and now he's concerned. He has this other Sony TV.
He has the EX500,
and now he's comparing the stats but not actually.
Yeah, he's buying the X800.
He's purchased it. He purchased it. Okay, so he's got both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So he doesn't care as long as it's no worse than the EX500, since he never had a problem with the display, the black level of that display. The X800D was measured at some stuff, and he couldn't find any numbers for the EX500 though. So do we know if the X800D has worse black levels than this old EX500?
I don't know by the numbers. I couldn't find numbers either.
No. I'm sure
your
Google foo is very strong, Gary. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going by the descriptions, like CNET had a review of the X500, and they're like, it has relatively relatively good black levels for a non-LED lit display. And I remember what the old CCFL backlight LCDs looked like, and none of them had great black levels.
Yeah.
So I don't think your EX500 probably had great black levels to begin with. The X800D, they're like, it's not very good compared to modern other LEDs, but you know what? It still measured 0.05 nits at a full black, which is pretty darn black.
Isn't his room not light
It's
controlled?
all well lit. It's totally well lit.
So what are you worried about black levels for? You're not going to have black levels. You're going to
I
have
read a review that said it wasn't good. It worried him.
Okay, I understand that. You physically have both the TVs.
Yeah, that's right.
You can turn them both on at the same time and look at them and say, I like this one and I like that one and this one I like better or whatever. So you can literally, you do not need reviews. Don't read. You have the TVs. People read reviews because they do not have them. They want to have them, but they do not. You do not need a review. You need two things, a left eye and a right eye. That's all you need. You got those. So turn them on. Look at them. Since Gary has been going around to all his local, he really even says it in here, all his local stores and looking at TVs, his opinion is that most of them look garish with unnatural colors and whites that are too bright looking. The reviews that praise these displays also talk about how deep and great the black levels are and how that creates fantastic contrast. But he prefers the look of his old EX500 that was said to only have somewhat deep black levels and rather low peak light output. So does extremely high contrast actually contribute to this garish look? No.
Vivid mode.
Vivid mode.
Yeah.
Vivid mode is the devil. It's the devil's mode. When you go to hell, then the only mode they have is vivid. Everything's in vivid. Everybody looks blue, and the colors are all the reds are all blossoming everywhere. And there's frame interpolation turned on the whole universe. It's terrible. Vivid mode is the problem there, Carrie. They want you to be able to see the TV under extremely bright fluorescent lighting.
That's right.
And to do that, they must turn up everything to nuke, and that's what vivid mode is. So yeah, it's not right.
It's quite interesting because, like David Katzmeyer in his reviews over at CNET, he'll often point out how even when you set it to, say, the cinema mode or theater mode or movie mode or whatever they call it, the peak light output that he's going for, because he's always viewing and measuring in a very dim room. Yeah. You know, the likes of which standard HDR settings would look the way they're supposed to look. Right. That's how he's viewing. So he's like, even in a lot of the cinema modes, he has to back down the light output so that it hits the peak light output that he's going for in standard dynamic range. So even those are set to be overly bright, at least according to the specs.
Right.
So yeah, what you're seeing in the stores, it's very, very difficult to make any sort of evaluation. It's tough because hey, our tagline on this podcast is go out and listen to something, and translating that to go out and look at something wouldn't be out of place, but it's very, very difficult to evaluate. Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, at one point when I was looking for a TV specifically for video game purposes, I saw an LG LCD in the Best Buy. That within the Best Buy, I thought, hey, that looks pretty decent, and the price was nice, and it was the size I wanted and everything. Brought it home. I'm in a much dimmer setting with my lighting, and I couldn't stand the uneven backlight. When things went black, it was all cloudy in the backlight. Right. Couldn't see it at all in the store.
Yeah.
Got it home and couldn't stand it. Right. Yeah. So it's very tough to evaluate. And what you're seeing in the stores is not really representative. Unfortunately, it's really unfair because what are you supposed to do? Buy every TV in existence and bring it home?
That's what the reviews are for. But you don't need the reviews. You've got to put the TVs. Yeah. I've got completely swung to the direction. Like if I see something that looks really good in the store, I go, it's probably crap.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
I see one.
I stand out in those horrible settings.
I see one that's like kind of dim and whatever. I'm like, oh, that was probably the good one right there. That's the good one because it can't be all stupid, bright, and lame like all the rest of them. That must be the good TV. My head's all messed up when it comes to those things. It's hilarious. So, anyways, since it seems as though glossy flat panels are here to stay, if he were to totally black out his bedroom, which he's totally not going to do, so this is completely.
Oh, he might. It's Gary.
It is true. Would the glossiness still have an effect on the image? With no ambient light, would he see no reflections? Does the gloss finish intensify the light output of the TV somehow? Gary, okay, so the light reflections require light.
Yeah.
So if you have a completely glossy, let's call it a mirror.
That's right.
Take a mirror, go into a closet, close the door, put a bunch of stuff around the door so that no light comes in from the outside. Can you see the mirror? The answer should be no. There's no light. You can't see it. So the glossy bezel on the outside needs light to reflect off of it in order for you to see it. So if there's light coming out of the TV, and there's a little bit of gloss around the bezel, where it's coming out of the TV.
No, but he's talking about the whole screen surface is glossy on a lot of these, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. But it needs something to reflect back to it. So if you blacked out your room, let's just be crazy here, and you took that matte, sticky velvet crap and just wallpapered your room with it, right?
Okay, right.
The light would come out of your TV. It would hit your eyes. The only thing it has to reflect off of is you.
That's right.
So if you're wearing a little black ninja costume...
Yeah, you might have to put on a balaclava.
Yep.
Dress all in black. Paint your fingernails black.
Your whole room's black. Everything's black. There's no light coming in. Nothing will reflect. You will only see the image.
But I think when he was saying black out the room, I think he's talking about blocking the windows and turning off all the lights as opposed to painting the whole room. In which case, the light from the TV is the source of light now. That's going to hit and reflect whatever it can in the room. And if you've got a super glossy, essentially, mirror at the front of your room, you're still going to see those reflections. Still going to be there. I mean, my glossy Sony TV sitting in my little theater, which I can totally black out if I want to, I can still see myself plainly looking back at myself in the TV. So if that bothers you, then glossy is glossy, man. As soon as there's light, including the light coming from the TV itself, it's going to illuminate whatever's in the room.
Yes.
It doesn't intensify the light coming out of the TV.
No, that's not physics. No.
But it does reflect more than a matte finish, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, matte finish still reflects. I mean, that's what it comes.
Yeah,
it's just blurry, and dimmer. Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.